What are the symptoms of night terrors? How do you know if your child is having a night terror or not? Hey, I'm Ryan from DreamyDad.com. I've got 3 kids and my son, who's 3 years old, has night terrors. Night terrors are very stressful experiences as a parent, and I wanted to talk through some of the symptoms of night terrors so you can see whether or not your child is likely having a night terror, and then I'll also talk about some of the possible solutions to stop these night terrors from happening, which is what we really want to achieve. Okay, so a night terror, what does it look like? Well, some of the symptoms is a sudden awakening or a partial awakening of your child. Generally, for most parents, a child will go to sleep and within like an hour to 2 hours, maybe 3 hours, your child will all of a sudden wake up and will wake up in a distressed state. Now, it can happen outside of that, but a lot of parents do experience that. So sudden awakening, they might be sitting up in bed, they're often crying or shouting or screaming or thrashing about. So they're having like this very intense experience, or what seems like an intense experience, where they're really, really upset. So they might be crying or screaming or yelling or like thrashing about. Thrashing about is definitely common with my son. They might have like a fear from an unknown source. So they might be have this look that they're experiencing quite an intense fear or terror, and you don't know what's causing it. You don't know if it's something in their mind. You don't know why they are so scared. The night terror can be extremely hard to wake up your child, and if you do finally get to wake them up, then they wake up confused. So the reason that it's hard to wake up your child is that a night terror occurs when part of the brain wakes up, but another part of the brain doesn't. So the part of your brain that controls motor functions or movements wakes up, but the part of your brain that receives inputs and that is conscious doesn't wake up. So your child is actually still asleep, but the part of the brain that controls movement is awake. So it's very hard to wake them up because part of their brain is awake, part of their brain is asleep. And so even though it looks like they're awake and they're having a tantrum, they're not actually awake. And we know this because when they have no recollection of it in the morning. So if you try and talk to your child about it, they'll have no recollection of it. I'm not a sleep doctor or anything like that, but they do say that the child is still asleep, they're not awake, and they won't recall it. And my son definitely doesn't even know what a night terror is, doesn't even know that he has them. They might have wide eyes and dilated pupils, though I find that very hard to see when it's dark at nighttime. Rapid breathing, sweating, fast heartbeat, all that sort of stuff are associated with night terrors as well. They could potentially run around the house. I have seen this on YouTube with an older child where he was just running around the house having a night terror. They tend to like not be conscious and not respond to input, or they actually have a negative response to input. So if you try and soothe them, you try and talk to them, you try and talk them out of it, then they actually respond negatively and get worse. Okay, so they're basically the symptoms of a night terror. Your child has this intense experience, either like fear-based, or they're having a tantrum or crying, thrashing about, but they're not actually awake, and you can't get them to respond to you. You can't really get them to wake up. It's very difficult and it's very stressful as a parent. Okay, so they're the symptoms of night terrors. What can we do to fix these night terrors and to stop them from happening? Well, there's been very little clinical research done around night terrors because children don't remember them and they generally grow out of them. So the clinical community considers them benign, and therefore you can't, not many people have done research into night terrors. However, there have been some clinical studies, and there's 2 proven methods that can help stop night terrors. One is free, one is a paid product. So depending on your budget will depend on what's best for you. So the free version is what's called schedule awakening. So you make a note of when your child has a night terror and you wake them up about half an hour before the night terror is likely to occur. You then keep your child awake for 3 to 5 minutes and you put them back to bed. Okay, this has proven to work in clinical studies where parents did this for 7 weeks, and then children showed no sign of night terrors returning within a 12-month period. So you do this for 7 weeks, and then hopefully the night terrors will be gone. So this works, but obviously there's some difficulty with this. You have to wake up your child which is very hard as a parent. When you put your child to bed, you spend a lot of effort getting your child to bed, you then wake them up. Sometimes they'll go straight back to sleep after the 3 to 5 minutes. Sometimes they'll stay awake for a longer period of time. And so it's just quite stressful and something that you don't really want to do. As well, it's difficult. My kids sleep in the same bedroom. And so for me to need to wake up my son without waking up my daughter could be very difficult. So that's not something that I prefer. The paid product that I was talking about is called Lully, and this is a vibrating pod that goes under your child's bed. And basically at a similar sort of time to the scheduled awakenings, you activate this vibrating pod, it vibrates under their bed and creates what's called a partial awakening in a child. So this is when they wake up for like 2 to 3 seconds or less, and they're not going to recall this at all. And basically it resets their brain and stops their brain going into that disassociated state. So this is a vibrating pod. It's available on Amazon, and basically you do that each night, and it connects to your phone. You get an app on your phone which tells you when to turn it on and connects to the Lully, makes it vibrate, and then you turn the Lully off if the child moves, if they wake up or have a night terror. Otherwise it goes through its 3 minutes of vibration, turns off, and then your child just sleeps the night. So I love this because you don't have to wake up your child. As well, it doesn't interfere with any siblings that may be in the room. It's not medicated, which I absolutely love. I don't want to medicate my child to fix this. So it's a great solution that I've used myself. My child used to have about 2 night terrors a week. It did vary. Sometimes it was multiple a week, sometimes it was a couple a month, but he used to have a fair few night terrors. And since we've had the Lully, which we've had for about 3 or 4 months now, the night terrors are basically non-existent. We might have 1 a month, 1 every 2 months or something like that, but otherwise they're non-existent. So the Lully does work. If you check on the Amazon page, then there are a lot of parents. You can see all their stories and whether it's worked for them. To check it out, go through my affiliate link, which is dreamydad.com/Lully. That's Lully. And I do get a small commission if you go through that, but obviously it doesn't cost you anything more. So this is a great solution. Check out all the reviews on the Amazon page. You'll see all the parents talk about it. A lot of parents had more severe night terror experiences than me. You know, once or twice a week, not so bad compared to the parents who are having them 3 or 4 times a night. So Lully is very useful. Go to dreamydad.com/Lully to check that out on Amazon. And if you're outside of the US, then this is still really the only solution. So to get it shipped to you, if Amazon doesn't ship internationally, simply go to myus.com, and this is a shipping service where they give you an address in the US. So you get it shipped from Amazon to myus.com, and myus.com then ship it out to you whatever country you're in. So there's a bit of an extra expense in getting it shipped internationally, but it's absolutely worth it. And if you've experienced the symptoms of night terrors in your children and you've seen them go through this, you can understand, you know, how anxious this makes you feel, how horrible it is as a parent. So if there's a device where you don't even have to wake up your child, but it solves this problem, then it's absolutely worth it. So again, you can check it out through my affiliate link, dreamydad.com/Lully. That's Lully. Thank you for watching this. I hope this has helped you identify whether or not your child has the symptoms of night terrors. And if they do, hopefully you're now equipped to do something about it and to stop these night terrors from happening. So until next time, guys, sleep well.